we are live right now. So just like what I do is I go yo, yo, yo to the yo, yo, yo. Phew, I made it. Hi, everybody. It's going to be a little bit different tonight, and we have some interesting things to bring to you. And just take it away, and that's all that it is. And then you're on your own.
Excellent. Good night, everyone. Here's where we're going to start today is with BitConnect. We have some news about BitConnect. I'm going to start out with this cryptocurrency market capitalizations, the market cap on it, which is why I'm doing this will be a little bit, you'll see a little bit as I go along, is that we've had this huge run up, just like everything else, in the past, let's see here, I think I got it on, let me put it on the 7-day, and we can see it's, kind of been flat for 7 days. And I'm just wondering why the news on this, I don't think it's gotten out mainstream, or even kind of it hasn't gone viral yet on social media. But we got a price of 425.45 for a current, I don't even know what to call this, a cryptocurrency, a token, it's hard for me to even understand what this is, but let's start with the actual letter that's circulating on social media right now, which this is the cease and desist from the Texas State Securities Board in the matter of BitConnect. There's the order number, ENF 18 CDO 1754. BitConnect to BitConnect, the Panorama Park Street in Ashford, England. So I guess that's where this company is registered in, England. It states this is an emergency cease and desist order. This is the official notice of the issuance of the Security Commissioner of the state of Texas of an emergency cease and desist order pursuant section blah, 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 under the Texas Act, under the Texas Security Act. Okay. So they go through their findings. I've already read through all this, but I'm just going to get to the actual meat of what this is about. I'm going to try to chew this down right to the bone. It pretty much says, the BitConnect lending program. It pretty much has their whole business motto explained to the cease and desist order. So I'm just kind of scrolling down, and I'm going to get to the meat of it right now, which is right here. Okay. Registration violations. Okay. The investments in the BitConnect lending program and staking program have not been registered by qualification, notification, or coordination, and no permit has been granted for their sale in Texas. So in other words, the state is pretty much getting in and regulating before the federal government even steps in and regulates it. Okay, this is just a precursor to what the SEC, what the federal government is going to start doing to the cryptocurrency if they're not taking the right step to do business in the United States. Continuing on is respondent BitConnect has not been registered with the Securities Commissioner as a dealer or agent at any time material hereto. In other words, nobody ever told the state of Texas, hey, we would like to go ahead and and do business in your state. And that's extremely important. Respondent to BitConnect is recruiting affiliates to other investments in the BitConnect lending program in Texas who are not registered with the Securities Commission as dealers or agents. So in other words, you have to register yourself with the commission, with the Securities Commission, and that's something that they failed to do. Let's go on to the next issue with BitConnect that Texas had. Texas has really got a few issues with BitConnect. fraud in connection with the offer of investments in the BitConnect staking of lending programs. So this is a pretty important one. In connection with the offer of investments in the BitConnect staking program and the BitConnect lending program, respondent BitConnect is intentionally failing to disclose the following material facts. Okay, so in other words, they're failing to identify of its principals, which is who owns BitConnect. You have to disclose that to the public in the state of Texas. Who is the owner of the company? Its physical address and its principal place of business. In other words, they have a ghost place of business in England that is probably nobody even works there or receives mail there. I'm pretty sure they tried already sending mail there in order to contact them. Its assets and liabilities, or the financial information about the business, they're not disclosing any probably minutes or any kind of literature anywhere in order to disclose that to anybody that's looking into invest with them. The persons or entities that developed BitConnect coins, including the number of BitConnect coins owned by these persons or entities, and the number of BitConnect coins owned by the principals of the respondents of BitConnect. In other words, what is their stake in this business? What is it that they're responsible for if there's any issues? Who is responsible for this money that's coming in? Who is responsible for the money that's going out? What recourse does a customer have when they invest with them? Those are very important. So they're really going for the jugular here. I mean, there is just nothing that BitConnect has done in order to pretty much make themselves visible to the public and transparent to the public about how they do business and who the public is doing business with. Fraud in connection with the offer of investments in the BitConnect lending program. So let's start reading a little bit more here. In connection with the offer of investments in the BitConnect lending program, respondent BitConnect is intentionally failing to disclose the identity and the qualifications of the persons that developed and control the BitConnect trading bot and volatility software. And the intentional failure to disclose this information constitutes the intentional failure to disclose material facts. So they're pretty much calling them scammers right here. I mean, that's a big old sentence that could just be pretty much nobody has a face to this company. I know we've all seen a couple of guys on YouTube channels and doing a lot of sending a lot of advertisements out there, but they're not the face. I don't think that they're the owners of the company. I don't think they want to be the owners of the company after this letter. So this is going to be interesting to see what's going to come out of this. I'm going to keep following up with this because I don't know who owns BitConnect. If anybody out there knows who owns BitConnect, please speak forward. Let me know who it is. I think we all have a right to know. Respondent BitConnect is representing the BitConnect lending program. It is a safe way to earn a high rate return on your investment without having to undergo a significant amount of risk, which is a misrepresentation of a relevant fact because respondent BitConnect acknowledges significant risks associated with the virtual currency as well as the BitConnect lending program, including but not limited to the following: legislative and regulatory changes or actions at the state, federal, or international level may adversely affect the use, transfer, and exchange of value of Bitcoin. Transactions in a virtual currency such as Bitcoin are irreversible and accidental transactions and may not be recoverable. The volatility and the unpredictability of the price of virtual currency relative to fiat currency may result in significant loss over short periods of time. Okay, so what I'm getting from there is that they're failing to disclose how volatile cryptocurrency is, how the crypto market. So they're misrepresenting themselves through their advertising that, yeah, you know what, you can get all this money back, you can get all this, but us that have kind of done our due diligence and homework on how cryptocurrencies work, we're privy to that. We understand that risk. But a new person that is just seeing Bitcoin being blown up all over mainstream media and gets into it haphazardly, that doesn't really understand how this ecosystem can take a big loss, and usually do. Okay. Um, let's keep going here. Any technological difficulties experienced by the BitConnect system may prevent the access or use of members' virtual currency temporarily or permanently, depending on the severity of damage. The risks are associated with trading and investing. If there should be a system failure, hacking incident, or technical failure, these terms apply to the members. Okay, let me just stop there. I don't know how many people. I mean, I got this spike on YouTube. I forget the guy's name. The colored gentleman that's always, he's got dreads and he's like BitConnect, and he's yelling all that crazy stuff, and saying how much he lives in as a high roller life and all that good stuff. He got hacked for like 100 coins or a crazy amount of coins, and he goes on there to the masses and he shrugs it off like losing, $1 million plus is nothing to him. That's arrogant. If I lost $1 million, I'd be crying, not going on YouTube and bragging about it. I just don't get that mindset. That's just I don't even know what to call that. Members should note that there is no guarantee of daily profit for landing. Okay, so BitConnect reserves the right to institute and implement new rules of paying interest and capital should BitConnect lending fail in any way. In other words, there's no security. BitConnect reserves the right to change the lending algorithm, the interest payment, and the capital back system. And there is no guarantee of investors' capital if the lending system fails due to any reasons mentioned above. In other words, they fail to let the masses know, or their customers know, that, hey, you can lose this, or I can change the algorithm on how much you make. You can lose it all. That makes no sense. It says right there, BitConnect reserves the right to change the lending algorithm so they can manipulate. That's am I not reading that right? That number H, that's crazy. All right, let's keep going. Fraud in connection with the offer investments in the BitConnect staking program. In connection with the offer of the investments in the BitConnect staking program, respondent BitConnect is intentionally failing to disclose financial information about the obligation to pay investors who stake BitConnect coins in the BitConnect QT wallet, including but not limited to the source of funds that will be used to pay investors interest rate at up to 120% per year. The intentional failure to disclose this information constitutes the intentional failure to disclose material facts. Calling them liars. Wow. This just goes on and on and on. What is this? Materially misleading and deceptive statements. I'm just going to kind of skim through this. BitConnect coins are competition of the virtual currencies that may negatively impact the price of BitConnect. Merchants, vendors, and other parties may decline to accept virtual currencies such as BitConnect coins, thereby negatively impacting the price of Bitcoin. So in other words, merchants, vendors, and other parties. So any exchange can say, you know what, we no longer are going to trade your coin because now you got this cease and desist letter that it's trading at $425.50. That's a little crazy. for somebody that, I mean, I'm not understanding why this number right here is not going down yet based on this cease and desist letter. Why are they even allowed? Why do these exchanges, which is, let me see here, what exchanges are there? Are they on? They're on BCC Exchange, Livecoin, Coin Exchange, Hit BTC, Livecoin, Trade Satoshi. I know that they're, I think I've seen them on Binance, if I'm not mistaken. Are they listed on Binance? Does anybody know?
The exchange that I do the chart on is the Hit BTC. I do not know the other exchanges that are handled.
Okay, I may be wrong about Binance, but okay, let's just go by what's here in front of me as a fact, according to coinmarketcap.com. These exchanges should just pull this like immediately. I mean, you have a cease and desist letter from the state of Texas. And to give you a little bit more, so let's go to the conclusion of the law before I get ahead of myself. The conclusion of the law is that investments in BitConnect staking program and BitConnect lending program as securities, as that term is defined by the Section 4A of the Texas Security Act. Respondent BitConnect is violating Section 7 of the Texas Security Act. BitConnect is violating Section 12 of the Section 12. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 violations of the Texas Security Act. The order is therefore ordered that the respondent BitConnect immediately cease and desist from offering for sale any securities in Texas until the security is registered with the Securities Commission or is offered for sale pursuant to an exemption from the registration under the Texas Security Act. It is further ordered that the respondent BitConnect immediately cease and desist from acting as a securities dealer in the Texas until respondent BitConnect is registered with the Securities Commissioner or are acting pursuant to an exemption from under the Texas Security Act. Number 3, it is further ordered that the respondent BitConnect immediately cease and desist from engaging in any fraud in connection with the offer for sale or any security in Texas. 4, it is further ordered that the respondent BitConnect immediately cease and desist from offering securities in Texas through the offer of containing a statement that is materially misleading or otherwise likely to deceive the public. In other words, they have to get their shit together in order to be able to do business, and excuse my French, in order to do business in the state of Texas. Signed the 4th day of January 2018, Travis J. Isles, Securities Commission. Now, I'm reading something that was posted. Did I interview Mr. Travis Isles? No. Am I going to do my due diligence tomorrow and call his office and really find out if this is true? Yes. So there will be a continuation to this. I did, however, go into the Texas State Security Board website, their official website, as you can see here. It's www.ssb.texas.gov, news publications, 4 billion crypto promoter ordered to halt fraudulent sales. Okay, so I went to their website. I did a little bit more digging, and it is correct. As of January 4th, 2018, there was a Texas Security Commission has entered the emergency cease and desist order. It is here. If you click on it, you get taken to the actual cease and desist order letter. Okay. Now, let me go back into it. All right. So here's what we got. Here's what we got on this. Give me just 1 second. Okay, here's what we got on this. BitConnect is soliciting investors for cryptocurrency-based programs and claiming that will deliver annualized returns of 100% or more according to the order entered January 4th security. Okay, so I mean, we'll try to post the links um, um, if we can, so you guys can check it out on yourself. But it's also against USI Tech Limited. Okay. On this, I'm sorry, there was another one that was filed against USI Tech Limited on December 20th. So that was a separate issue. So here they're listing the one, the emergency cease and desist against BitConnect. And then here the one is against USI Tech Limited, a Dubai-based firm selling investments tied to Bitcoin mining. So yeah, I think that this is something that we're going to be seeing a lot more as the SEC and this is just a state. This is pretty much state law. But I'm sure with the state of Texas does have quite a pull when it comes to, you know, the federal government and getting things done up in Washington. This is going to turn into something that definitely needs to be monitored, because any fraudulent altcoin out there should be shaking in their boots and should be getting their business plans in order if they want to continue doing business with a country that is heavily invested in crypto, which is the United States. And nobody can deny that. The United States is just like Asia and Europe, a big contributor to this ecosystem. And Texans, really, especially Texans, hate to be taken advantage of when it comes to their money and their and their livelihood, or maybe even their life savings. So that's pretty much all I got with this right now. If anybody has anything to ask or anything to add, right now would probably be the best time.
Well, we've got a little bit of a busy chat happening, and I'm inviting, so that I can just throw this out. We are very kind of fair and biased, and you know, just reading. We're reading something that has been a great concern for all of us. Many different people have been involved in this particular outreach of this company. I was approached a couple of weeks ago, actually, and because I go to the chart first, of course, I started to look at the chart, and there's some unsettling things about the chart itself. So I want to make sure that you guys know, if you want to come on the panel, we would love to hear from anyone that is involved with BitConnect. We are reaching out as best we can. Of course, we'd love to hear from a lawyer that knows something about cease and desist orders, because the questions really are, well, if I live in Texas, does that somehow make me where I'm somehow doing some things that are illegal? We don't know. So the only what we're doing right now on the channel is just reading, doing what's called a dry read. Trying not to have too many op-ed ideas around the dry read, but of course each of our opinions are our own as we kind of muddle through what does this really mean. The thing that really struck out to me was the hit and the slam against the affiliate, because if the state of Texas, and another question was, well, why would Texas be the lead on a move like this? I don't know. Texas might be famous for this sort of activity. They might do it because they sit on closer to a circuit court, or like I'm unfamiliar, but clearly they felt that there were enough people among their constituents that would come in harm's way. Maybe they do know people that have come in harm's way and realize that, listen, this is bad. It's important, people's life savings, whatever. Something created a cease and desist like this. It's a dense read, and there's a lot of this isn't accusations, by the way. A cease and desist is to lay out the facts as they have them. It's not a lawsuit. It's where the state of Texas is coming forward and telling the business, you must. This is an emergency cease and desist. You cannot solicit to our citizens. You cannot conduct any sort of business in our state until you follow the rules of our state. So it's a big deal, and we'd love to hear from anyone that's on the BitConnect side. Did you hear about this ahead of time? Were you given any sort of heads up? We waited how many hours? 2 hours? Thinking something like that, thinking that maybe the other side would come on board. But I'm very familiar with this attitude about we don't deal with negativity. Believe you me, when the marshal comes knocking at your door, you're not going to be thinking, you're not going to tell the marshal, I don't do negativity. Okay, so it's beyond that. It's completely beyond that. This doesn't have anything to do with well, we only deal with positive. I don't care about the state of Texas. Well, you better care about the state of Texas. Anybody's ever driven across the state of Texas and you've gone over the speed limit, you better care, because they'll have your butt back in court with super fines and everything like that. They're very mindful. They're very prideful. 2 of our former presidents come from the state of Texas. One of the greatest governors that ever served came from the state of Texas. These people are serious. Their lawyers are serious. Racehorse Haynes, one of the best lawyers in the entire world. Racehorse Haynes, you can look him up, from the state of Texas. And so this whole kind of don't mess with Texas is a big deal. But if you're on the BitConnect side, we want to hear from you. If you can, share with us what your ideas are, how you think BitConnect is going to sort this out, and where does it seat you with your business. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Well, no, that's okay. You know what? I live in Texas, so I'm very familiar about how they do the law here.
Mm-hmm.
Texas follows law really. They follow the federal laws extremely heavy. Mm-hmm. Let's say, just to give you an example, just across the state line, you go to New Mexico, and you have, let's say, a dime bag of weed, which in New Mexico, it's nothing because it's a marijuana state. If you cross the border into Texas and you get caught with the same weight of weed, even though in New Mexico, the state is liberal on it, you will get nailed to a cross. You'll get arrested probably.
Yeah, it's a very, even though up until 20 years ago there was open container, right? You could walk into a Piggly Wiggly, grab yourself a cold one, and drink a 6-pack on the way home if you wanted to. So yeah. Texas is a state of, like, they live on the honor system. Okay, they expect that when you're drunk and you're not going to drive drunk, and. Yes. It's so, and also it's very deep with family, very deep with culture, and it's a great place to do business. They take care of their people. If you watched anything about the hurricane that came through, very mindful, deep familial roots. So it's no wonder that they would maybe come forward, because the BitConnect offer is to be a life changer, right? It's going to take you from zero to hero in yes. whatever their lending period is. And so it's no matter. I'm going to get the Hangout link. This is the actual panel link, if I can sort out my windows here. Okay, so this is the way this goes, guys. I'm going to put the Hangout link out in the wild. This is what's called a Chewbacca Hangout link. It's out in the wild. That means that we expect that if you come on, just have earbuds and have Wi-Fi and be a decent person. That's all. That's basically it. If you're Chewbacca, of course, we'll just boot you. But if you want to come in and contribute to what we're trying to learn and sort through, we'd love to have you. And we'll just kind of take a little bit of a rest on that and see what happens. At least we know, right? That we sent out, the offer. I would never want it to look like, we got on and all we did was bash and where we were connecting the dots on something that's brand new and fresh. And being that it is a legal order, for us, we're just op-ed kind of people. We're just putting out our opinions about how it reads and what it looks like and what it means to us right now. It doesn't mean that a lawyer couldn't come on and say something different or enlighten us, right?
What are some of the questions out there about it?
Well, some had to do with, Beauty, are you an investor? I'm not going to mention anything about my investments with BitConnect. We had someone that was asking about, would this make, if I live in Texas, would it be illegal to buy BitConnect? I actually go through the exchanges. I doubt that would be
No,
illegal.
because what they're trying to do here is protect people's money, protect people's livelihood. They're not saying no. We're not. They're not saying that they're banning BitConnect. Well, they are banning BitConnect pretty much, but they're not saying that they're banning any other type of crypto. They're saying that this particular company is not doing business as business is expected out of the state of Texas in order to protect.
In their examination, right? In their observation and examination, these are the findings that they have decided to write down by law, but with the hand of the commissioner. Is it the commissioner that signed the order?
Yes, it is the actual.
Yeah. Another question had to do with why not in all the states? You know, why would Texas take the lead? And we can only figure that Texas would. It would be natural for Texas to take the lead, and for the other states to follow. So New Hampshire might be next.
Texas is really, really strict on gambling. There is no gambling allowed in the state of Texas. So let's say if you live in Houston, most people go to Mississippi or Louisiana
or offshore. You can do offshore.
Or offshore, yes. If you live in North Texas, you probably go to Oklahoma. Here in West Texas, we go to New Mexico to gamble. So gambling is a very big issue with the state of Texas, and cryptocurrency tends to have a big link with gambling. So that is huge with them. They even took the state of Texas won against an indigenous tribe in West Texas about their gambling. They took their gambling rights away, their casino rights.
Yeah, so I think that the two of us at least agree, probably having some experience with the state of Texas, raise my hand to God, that it would be a natural fit for Texas to take the lead on this. Okay, if there are any other questions, Karma, I guess it seems as though you are an investor or you have some relationship with BitConnect. You have the Hangout link. We'll probably be covering the story in and out. Of course, it's Thursday, but maybe throughout the weekend, there may be more people that would like to come forward. Send the good word out. Welcome here. You can come and you can chat with us. We kind of run a freedom of speech kind of environment where everyone is respected with their opinions. And so send the kind word out if you'd like to come and talk with us here at the BeautyBubble. So let me see. John Martinez is saying, there's gambling in here, Conroe. Yeah, Conroe is in Texas. Conroe hasn't been Texas for a long time, and you know that.
I mean, there is. I mean, you just don't see casinos in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, come on. There's the Saltgrass Trails. Okay, we know there's gambling in Texas. There's just, if you've never been on that ride, okay. And Karma coming in. Can this case be similar to weed being legal in California and then illegal in other states? Well, I don't think that this is a health and welfare issue that they're dealing with. This is an issue of being a licensed professional, to be able to conduct business as an accountant, which requires a licensed professional. So I don't think that there can be a connection between the legalization of marijuana. But the treatment of unlawfulness and, you move outside the law. And it's kind of like this, okay? If you've ever been down the Tamiami Trail, okay, you stay on the road, okay? Because if you don't talk about learning how to stay in your swim lane. You live in Texas for a little bit, you will learn to stay on the road. just, do not do anything crazy because they'll find you out for sure. It's crazy like that. I don't know. They've got drones. I think that they had drones before we even knew about drones. But then, of course, the seat of NASA is there. Thank you.
I mean, I just had somebody ask me, okay, just to put it out there. And,
yes.
and it kind of relates to this. And it's, I just had a friend of mine ask me, are my coins safe on Binance? And it doesn't matter if he asked if they were safe on Coinbase, Kraken, all the exchanges out there. I'm just not singling out Binance again. And I'm afraid to respond to that because he's newer than I am, and he's asking me questions like this. I'm just gonna have to be honest with him. There has been instances where stuff has gone sideways with these with these exchanges.
It's crazy because we can give caveats. Pardon me. We can give these caveats to people up front, right? Listen, this is an unregulated environment. It's the wild, wild west. I cannot, as your friend, I cannot guarantee anything which might be outside of our friendship, Like we guarantee that we're going to show up. If we have ball tickets, it's not like we show up at the ball game and don't have the tickets. But in this particular situation, if you're not upfront with him when you write him back and say, dude, I'm not going to not be honest with you. I guess that's a double negative, but you know what I mean. And that's what you have to do. Yeah. So what were you going to say? Pardon.
No, I'm just going to tell him, you know what, man? Like I told you, high risk, high reward.
Yeah. And no crying at the rodeo.
Yeah, but very high risk. I've already told him to get a Ledger Nano S, and that's what I do. If I have any type
of exchanges every night,
take them off.
Yep, take them off, and you got to pay the price, whatever that might be in the future. They're kind of pricey, by the way, but this is how the world of the wallets is going.
Mine was reasonable. Maybe it was like $60 on Amazon.
No, see, that's a good deal. We got to get that link out there. So we owe people a few links. I will say that we are encouraging people to come over to the Discord because we do have a Discord rather than globbing up the live chat with links. So if you want to jump into the Discord, you can jump in, you can jump out, grab the links, et cetera, but we would love to meet you, of course. And so come on over to the ChartChatConnect Discord. That is the invite link that you got for that. And it's just a little teeny tiny community, but we're pretty sassy. That's what I should.
You take over from here for me. I gotta go have some dinner. I gotta go have some dinner with my kid for now. So you'll take over. From
yep, I'm going to take over, and I'll go into the open bazaar. Thanks, love. Talk to you later. Yep. All right. I think we have Alfredo in the room, maybe kind of holding down some things. Thank you, Alfredo. Alfredo's hey, Jacob. How are you? John Martinez writes, I'm invested with BitConnect making money and got my initial investment back. And then you don't know. Okay, so any number of things that you want to share about your best experiences, your great experiences, please do so, okay? I'm going to migrate the conversation around to a platform that I have just become involved with. And when I say involved, it just means that I am a seller over at Open Bazaar. And I will just put the name Open Bazaar. And I can't sit here and tell you that I know everything about it, but I was an early eBay person, and thank you. And so I love to get on early, even though Open Bazaar has been around, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even over 2 years. They've actually had the coding and the infrastructure and then, but in the recent few months, they've been given some decent enough seed money. And so, I thought, well, I'm going to go over there. One reason is that something that you may not know is that my husband wrote a cookbook and I did all the styling of the cookbook, and it's called Good Food Fall Winter. And so I thought, well, I'm going to go over there and see if I can get this whole books for Bitcoin concept going. And I went over to OpenBazaar. So basically, it is a vendor environment where you post your item, you tag it, you label it, you price it yourself. And it is a piece of software, meaning that we're all running our own independent store. So you'll notice even the URL is not a standard HTTPS URL. So you have to upload the software, and then each of us goes in on our own, and when we're live, we are known that we're live to the other people in the platform. I'll go over there so that you can see some of the items that are for sale. And a caveat: we don't know what we'll find when I go over there, because I haven't done like a pre-roll on it or anything like that. And okay, so let me do this. First of all, I wanted to kind of show the BitConnect chart, but I'm not going to do that right now. So I'll show it maybe towards the end if I can. I'll drop down the OpenBazaar and I will show you we'll close it off with the BitConnect chart. So here we are, and you'll notice that this very funny URL. You can't take this URL anywhere else. This is not a social sharing URL. It is assigned, and so you'll notice actually that it is its own independent, OpenBazaar 2, its own independent piece of software. And I'll scroll down so you can see how luscious the description is, and really the interface here is absolutely beautiful. And they give you 30 opportunities to post photographs of your items. So in that way, it feels very much like eBay or Amazon has pictures too, but I don't know if they have 30 pictures. So we'll just run through the pictures here. Remember, so you can tell your story any way that you want to, up to 30 pages, etc. Okay. And then down below here, your reviews, if you have any, the refund policy, if you have one, and your terms of service. So it's just, I have to use the word luscious because, of course, everybody comes into the system with, whatever they have to sell. So, of course, the nicer your item looks, the better everything looks. But we'll take it over. I'll leave my store. In fact, I'll return to the store page. So this is my store page. And actually, I can just populate this with any number of items that I want. But I'm sure you guys are wondering, what do they sell for Bitcoin? What's over there? Well, let's take a look. Well, here we go. And today we have 16,901 listings. 16,961 listings. The suggestions would be books, clothing, electronics, food, games, etc. here. And the accepted currency, and I haven't tried all of this, but the accepted currency today is Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Zcash. Condition of the item, there is also adult content that's allowed, and then there's ratings which come from your reviews. If you're shipping to any country and the type of good that you have, for example, our book is in the digital goods section. So this is OpenBazaar. And this is what it looks like. And the items rotate a little bit, so it's a little bit of a carousel. Every time you come on, you won't be seeing this item in the same location. You get to meet the buyer. There's the seller. Let's go into a seller so that you can kind of see what they're up to. And we will pick, let's pick a seller that's selling hemp oil. How about this fellow here? Cana Cosmetics. And we actually go into this item. And let's hope that it loads. And this is where I've kind of found things that are a little wonky sometimes. So we're not getting a page load on that one. So we'll go back. And then we'll try again, but we'll go into the page listing itself. We'll go here, see if that works. Come on now. Okay, so it's going to fail. Remember, it's brand new, so let me refresh. Let me refresh. Okay, just so you know, it ain't my fail, okay, because we're going to contact Brian Hoffman, the CEO of OpenBazaar. So that's a fail, but, we'll see if we can get into another. Let's try the sneakers. I've got good internet connection. All right. Okay, so refresh one more time and hope for the best. And this user could not be found, so that would make sense. And we'll just do it 3 times. Maybe I'll go to a page that's a little further down. And go a couple pages over. A lot of clothing today. And let's try this right here. I don't know what it is. Try this one. Okay, so I admit to failure. Of course, it's not anyone's fault. I don't know what's happening with their servers, but clearly there's something wrong with their servers. So I'll go back. I come up here. I go to the navigation, and we go to our books for Bitcoin. Ooh, even that's giving me trouble. Hold on just a moment. Go to server my page. Let's go. Okay, there we go. All right, so let me check out what YouTube is doing. And sorry about that, guys, but that's the internet. I didn't do a very good job, did I? That was, I've been doing onboarding videos, and tonight would have been not a good night to invite a room of 100 people, but at least you got to see it from the seller's point of view. Are there any questions that you've got about Open Bazaar? Do you know about it? Have you seen it? Yes, it's all brand new. Yes. Well, I just went in and I got myself my account and went through the whole sign-up process, and that's it. And then it gives you prompts on how to get started in the store. And I did a couple of videos about it. So anyway, that was a fail. Who wants to see the BitConnect chart? And I will get onto the things that I really know about instead of things that I'm just learning about. Okay, so let me bring this down. And let me bring this down. Let me get out of my window. We're going to go dark for just a moment, guys, while I grab the chart. Clean up some windows here. Thank you for the thumbs up, too. We appreciate it. And let me go ahead and pull up the BitConnect chart. Get out of that. When I first built the BitConnect chart from my side, I decided that I would go for the BitConnect Bitcoin hit BTC pair. As soon as I get the Hangout link, I will open up the window. Screen share, application window, and there's the chart here. Present to everyone and hide that. Okay, if you've never seen one of my charts before, be shocked and it's just shock and awe. That's all that it is. But this is Ruby. It's based on a stacking sequence of EMAs. If you've ever seen it before, what I'll do is I'll take off the candles, and you'll notice that it goes in and out as the EMAs are weaving and bobbing and providing support or resistance, or setting out a channel, or demonstrating what's called a wallet tightening or no trade zones, and all sorts of things. So Ruby is a very interesting dynamic. She's built on a 60-minute fixed chart. However, I can drill down, but yet you still see the bigger picture of the EMAs, but we can drill down to the 1 minute so that we can get some real granular view. We'll bring up the candles again. And let me show you what I discovered on BitConnect and the little bit that's been shared with me about who is really in the trade. That was my biggest concern is that they use their algorithms. If I understand this right, they have their own bot. They have their own method of trading the market, where they take your Bitcoin, right? Because you buy in with Bitcoin. You either buy in with Bitcoin or you buy in with cash, and then they give you BitConnect tokens. I'm not certain about all that, but the agreement is that they are going to take your Bitcoin, and under their good guidance, and this is where they're acting like a broker, right? And they're taking your money and putting it to work on an instrument that they are then not revealing to you, even what the components are, what's called the weighted components are. They're not giving you any information whatsoever about how much of Litecoin to Bitcoin to Golem to a Neo, etc. From what I understand, the second part of it is that the only people that are in the BitConnect trade on plot are the people that are running those accounts. None of you come and invest in BitConnect on the chart. And if there's someone out there that does, I'd be very interested to hear from you seriously now. I'll go into the 60 minutes, so we'll kind of widen this out so you can see that, yes, I have been working on the chart. You can actually see my date there since 12/18, and probably before, when I started to work on Fibonacci swings and structure, and was there a good trade to get into? When did the trade go short, and that sort of thing. So not a long time, but in crypto years, being on top of a chart since December 18, wanting to find the good parts now. As a trader, I'm looking for where the opportunity is, and I can tell you that this candle right here, you see this candle? This is real. So if you were in this long, this is a stop hunt. This is getting people out, okay? Everything, if you had stops there, you'd be liquidated or stopped out. You're out of the trade. You're not in the trade anymore. And so the people that are, and I do have to say, or painting the candles here, they knew when there were too many other people, innocent bystanders, let's say, and they got them out. And they got them out in a very big way. So just want to give you some heads up. This candle right here, everyone, all of the rooms would have had thousands of people if this was a candle that was happening on any of the, air quote, legitimate exchanges and legitimate pairs. Right? There's no way that that candle would have just happened. We would have all been talking about it. All been talking about it. Nobody talked about it over on YouTube because apparently you do not watch the charts. You don't care about the charts. That's the last I heard too. Number 3 is that I did hear from one of the big promoters that he does not care about the charts. He's a promoter. Okie doke. So I think I've lost half of the audience. Has been lost in me trying to share and showcase. So yes. So there's more. If you want to join the Discord, please do come on over. And there's lots of charts that are being shared there every day, and great dialogue and lists of things and book lists. And we're learning a lot about Discord even. It may not be the fanciest Discord right now, but working on having a really good environment over there. And if there are no other questions, what I'll do is we'll kind of wrap it up. And we've been streaming for 53 minutes, so another 7 minutes will make us an hour. So I will wait for just a moment and see if you guys have any questions. Thank you, Alfredo, for letting me know how the private networks. Yeah, I didn't really know how to explain what it is because I didn't even look into it. It's Brian Hoffman. I asked a couple of people, what do you think? And it's like, well, it's new, and there might not be, the only part of the risk is that you might spend some time and never sell a cookbook. And of course, the intention wasn't to go over there to sell the cookbook. It was to be made part of the whole, working it and seeing how we can make it look pretty and kind of raising the bar over there a little bit. They do have a outreach on Telegram. They have an outreach on Slack and on Discord. But once again, it's all a very kind of tight-knit group of people. If I'm not mistaken, they have, I think it's 40,000 signed in users. So I don't know what the split is between vendors and buyers. I don't know that yet. But so there we go. Let me see what else. What else do I have to say, guys? I think we can probably wrap it up. There's no questions over at the Discord, and I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you very much, guys. This has been BeautyBubble for the BeautyBubble, introducing you to the BitConnect Don't Mess with Texas. This is like one of 2 times that we've ever done any kind of a title that might be considered, grab your attention. So we might play around with some of the titles and such. But basically, most of the things that I do are pretty dry. I will put the disclaimer up right now and go ahead and read that, so you guys have an idea about when we're bringing the market to you, what it's all about. A lot of times when we go live, there will be no audio, but guarantee that if you write out in the chat, we'll definitely, we'll get a clue that there's someone in the chat that wants to reach out to us. The stream is to serve as an archive of price action during volatile moves. That's the basic, here's the disclaimer if you're ready. Who'll be ready to fall asleep? Please be advised that all content in the charts shown is meant for entertainment and educational purposes only. Trading the stock, bond, currency, cryptocurrency, commodity, and futures markets can be rewarding but is also risky. Be aware that you can lose money and in some ways lose more than you have. It can also be profitable but not without significant risks. You are responsible for your own independent investment transactions. The charts shown are not to serve as an investment advisory service. I highly encourage you to seek professional advice in regard to your own financial decisions. Information you may get from any chart shown and its further discussion in other chat rooms or forums may not reflect my opinions at the time. The chart shown in their content is not a solicitation nor an offer for professional investment advice, nor is it an offer to buy or sell stocks, bonds, currencies, cryptocurrencies, commodities, and/or futures. And also the channel is under review for monetization approval with YouTube. We're still waiting. About 5 days ago, they said that it would only be a week. And so I can't say that we are not going to, I'm not going to be appealing if they decide that they're not going to allow us to monetize the channel. The monetization ends up being about 2 cents every time we come live. And but we are still waiting for that approval process to go through. All right, we'll put that off to the side. And we will leave with the Mac Daddy, which is the BTC USD. We'll take a look at the Coinbase pair. Once again, you're looking at a working chart. These are working charts. These are charts that are in my library that I share with the public. And then, we just dissect and play, and we look at each other's charts. And that's what we do. We look at charts and a few more charts and everything else. So there's the Bitcoin. And we are really nudging up against this trend line that was built earlier before the break. And we were here during when it broke. We did get a little bit of a catch. There was a breach through the 51,243.96 that held, and now of course we're nudged underneath that trend line. Not too sure how important that trend line is, but it seems to be doing its job right now, keeping price at bay at $15,147.57. Okay, and the closing is hashtag money with beauty. Hashtag, if you want a relationship with me, put it on the blockchain. Bye-bye for now.